Now, the Kenya National Association of Parents has threatened to go to court if public secondary school head teachers enforce inflated school fees, some of which are up to 50% above what the government recommended. The association released school fee structures that showed huge disparities between the ceilings put by the government and the new levies. But first, the parents are seeking an audience with President Uhuru Kenyatta over the matter.
If the latest school fee structures released by most school heads are anything to go by, then parents have a huge task ahead of them. School fee circulars released by various public secondary schools indicate that you could be paying up to 50% more on fees this year. The revelation coming as a shock to many parents who were hoping that the 2015 education circular that gave guidelines on fee structure would help reduce the growing burden of increased school fees. According to the circular released by then Education Cabinet Secretary Professor Jacob Kaimenyi, no parent who has a child in public day school was to pay more than 9,374 shillings per year. Under the same circular, all students in boarding school were to pay only 53,553 shillings yearly. This after the government subsidy of 12,870 shillings for every child. But it appears that directive was only effective on paper. School heads have since gone above and beyond the set guidelines. In Pangani Girls High School, for instance, parents who have children joining Form 1 will be required to part with 59,253 shillings this year, with 27,000 shillings required during the first term alone. A further 2,000 shillings for Form 1s and 1,000 shillings for Form 2s, 3s and 4s has been levied each term for, quote, tea and hot water. Sironga Girls High School in Nyamira County will have parents parting with not less than 45,796 shillings in just first term alone. 2,300 shillings per child per term is expected for, quote, bus maintenance and insurance. School heads appearing to ignore the earlier circular, and the country's Parents Association is angry.
Who is in charge of education? Because as far as we are concerned, I don't see anybody who has grip of education in this country. And ladies and gentlemen, it is pathetic that schools are being left in the hands of few mercenaries. I should call them mercenaries. People who are ruthless, who don't care about the fate of children, people who don't care. They are just there to make sure that education in this country is made impossible.
Most of the increased charges are seen as levies for activities that are either catered for by the Ministry of Education or some of which have been scrapped. In Ngea Girls High School, which has its annual fee capped at 77,575 shillings, parents will have to part with a further 3,500 shillings per child for, quote, supplementary tuition. Yet, the government had already banned secondary school tuition.
That is madness in this country, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why, as an association, we feel that the government is failing in stamping the authority. Because so a school cannot go out of their way to introduce a fees of their own choice.
The bloated figures coming at a time when parents are struggling with a high cost of living.
Gharama ya maisha imeenda juu. Tunaomba serikali kaweze kutusaidia kama wazazi.
Kama nini hizi public schools. Watupunguzie nini school fees kidogo.
The Kenya National Association of Parents wants the Education CS Fred Matiang'i to take action against school heads who have raised their fees.
Section 92 of the Act, Basic Education Act Section 92, it makes it a criminal offense for any person in the Republic of Kenya who defies the law to be arrested and charged in a court of law and be imprisoned for 1 year or a fine of 200,000. We have not seen any principle going there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a disaster.
They insist that they will write a letter to the CS on Monday requesting to meet with the President Uhuru Kenyatta over the matter. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.